Good afternoon, everyone. It's Brittany here. Here I am again for another little update. I think it's been about 2 weeks since my last update, and apologies to the fashion police. I think this pretty much may have been the same outfit bar a different jacket I was wearing in my last update, so I like it. So where are we? We're at just coming up to 11 months now. Don't worry, I will do an 11-month update. But I guess a few things I want to let you know about that's been happening in my life recently. So probably one of the biggest things that's just happened was in Australia just on Sunday, today's Tuesday, so 2 days ago, we celebrate Father's Day. So this year was the first year. It obviously was a little bit different for me, where I clearly am not the boys, my children's father anymore. I am slowly being referred to as mum. The boys have 2 mums now, so yeah, Father's Day had a completely different meaning. So what I did, because I really wanted to acknowledge the day still, I think it's really important that the day was acknowledged. So I actually did something a little bit different, and I turned it around and I made it like a family appreciation day. So what I did was I went and bought some little gifts for my boys. Just some little gift bags, one each had a few bits and pieces in, like a PlayStation voucher, a couple of bags of their favourite lollies, a Mexi Cola, which is something they like, and some bits and pieces just to give back to them, although we're always giving to them. But I had the opportunity on the Sunday morning in bed. They both came and jumped in bed with us, and where normally I'd be showered with gifts, it was like, I want to make this about you guys. So I gave them their presents, and I actually took a moment to say thank you. I want to say thank you for your love and your support for the last 10 or so months of my transition. And it means the world to me that you've been there for me and that you're still here, and that we do have such a wonderful relationship. So that was Father's Day. And then so we went to visit my father-in-law, and that was a little bit interesting. He kind of greeted me and say, what are we calling today? Again, another one of my biggest supporters since the start. So it was really nice to still have that day. So that was Father's Day. Very different, very different. What else has been happening? So maybe not so much on the positive side of things. I'm really experiencing what the male gaze is like. And I'll give you a specific example. So today, just this morning at work, I went and exited somebody who's retiring from our organisation, and they've been with us for quite a while. This person was 76 years old. So very, very old school kind of gentleman, not making any excuses for anybody's behaviour. But we were having quite a pleasant conversation, and then he kind of became fixated on my breasts. And not even covertly taking a sneaky look, he was like staring. So to a point where I had to do my jacket up to sort of give him the message like, but I just, yeah. And that seems to happen a lot now. I suppose it's happened to women forever, but I'm just starting to experience it for the first time, or not so much for the first time, but it's starting to become a thing where it happens often. And I find the place it happens the most is the liquor store on a Friday afternoon, when you've got the tradesman rush, or the tradie guys that are picking up their cartons of beer for Friday night, and I'm there with my bottle of wine or a bottle of gin. And yeah, some things do change, lots of things actually. And there's the constant parade of them walking past me, and they're all looking down here. So it used to be a little bit affirming, but now it's just kind of creepy, this male gaze thing. And I suppose it ties into my next point around safety and feeling safe in the world and in different environments, where I think my last update I mentioned I'd started electrolysis, and I'd only had 2 sessions at that stage, and the last one was an hour session, and oh my God, it hurts so bad. But it's a means to an end. So I'm enduring. Anyway, that wasn't the point of the story. The point of the story was safety. When I parked my car to go to my appointment, it was still daylight, and I hadn't even given it a second thought what time it would be or what the environment would be like when I came out. So I came out an hour later and it was completely dark, and I had to walk to my car through an alleyway in complete darkness. And I was petrified. I don't think I'd ever been that scared for my own personal safety in my life. And I developed quite a pace back to the car. And when I got in the car, I locked the doors, and I was breathing quite heavily. It was quite scary. So yeah, I think these are the little things that are becoming more apparent now. I mean, they've been happening for a while, but it kind of makes me feel at this stage of my transition, like I'm really departing from the old world and getting to the new one. I know I did say about my epiphany in my last update, about how I'd felt as though I had arrived at a destination, I'd arrived at a place where I was whole and I was me, and that hasn't changed. I think I'm just building on that, and I think these experiences are just validating where I am and how I'm feeling about that. So another little thing too is, it's not really a little thing, it's how I feel I'm being perceived in the workplace. And I just think, and it could be all in my head, I don't know, I just feel as though maybe I'm not being taken as seriously as I was before. Am I looking for that? Maybe, I don't know, but it just feels like I've got to work that little bit harder to be acknowledged, and I do feel a little bit dismissed at times. And depending on my mood as to how I respond, if I'm not really up for a challenge, I'll just say, okay, fine. You don't want my opinion? You don't have to have it. But other times, if I'm in a bit more of an assertive mood, I'll say, no, you will listen to what I have to say, because I never experienced that before in my pre-transition life, when I cut a much larger, more, I don't know, I feel as though when I spoke, people listened, and I could have spoken about this before as well, but I never felt as though people weren't taking me seriously. If anything, it was the opposite. Like, they would just take whatever I'd say as gospel, and sometimes I'd be saying to myself, I just made that shit up, like, and you bought it. Where now, I even don't feel like I can make things up on the spot anymore. I acknowledge that I need a break, and I am taking a break. So now it's 2 weeks since my last update. So I've got 3 days of work left until I have a 2-week break. So I've now since planned to go to Brisbane to visit a dear friend of mine, which I'm very much looking forward to. It's going to be a real girl weekend, another first for me. Flying interstate by myself is causing a little bit of anxiety. The whole identification thing, still haven't changed my legal name yet, so my photo and my ID is me, but my name is still old me, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I've got that booked in, and then I'll be travelling just an hour or two drive to see another good friend who hasn't seen me since transition, has seen photos on Facebook, etc., but hasn't seen me. Not sure if you watch my videos, but hi, I'm coming. This could give you an idea of what to expect when you see me. Some say my mannerisms have changed quite a bit, and I suppose there's an update as well. I do feel that I do behave and my mannerisms are a lot more feminine, but I haven't really forced that. That's, I guess what it is I've kind of just taken the chains off. It's like I've just let myself be free. I've let myself just be me, which is lovely, actually, to just feel okay to be me. I was going to say to be girly, but what does it mean to be girly? Because there's the traditional stereotype stuff, but girls, women, come in all shapes and sizes and all different personalities. So I think I maintain what I described in my last update, is that I just feel like me. And me is pretty cool. Or being me is pretty cool, if you ask me. A couple of other things. So I had reported about my facial feminization surgery. There was a slight hiccup with that. So I mentioned I went and got the CT scan done. So what that turned up was I have issues with my thyroid gland. So I had to go off and get an ultrasound and a blood test done for that. Thankfully, both of those have come back completely clear, and there's nothing to see there. There's nothing to do. There's no treatment. There's no biopsy required. It's benign. There's nothing there. So hopefully my surgeon will agree with the reports that he gets, that we can pick up where we left off as far as my planning for FFS. However, the other thing that was picked up on the scans was my wisdom teeth need to come out. They should have come out 30-something years ago, but I, as the stubborn person I was, never got them done. So they also have to be addressed, because they'll be putting, with my lift that I'm having, remember, 15 years off, there'll be whole lots of mesh and things and hooks and all sorts of things that are running past that jaw area and my teeth area. So if I have any cavities there, that can be open to infection, and we don't want that happening, right? So we're back on track for FFS. Something else on the subject of surgeries that's really changed is my response to people now, and it seems to be predominantly older men, not older men, men, who ask me with the hand gesture, are you going to get the snip? And it's become quite an offensive question, one that I am surprised didn't offend earlier. I think I got so caught up before in the transparency and the sharing and the education piece of being transgender that surgery was part and parcel of it. So I was openly answering questions about my personal views on surgery. So now I'm trying to keep front of mind the next time somebody asks, because it won't be if, it'll be when. Someone will be inappropriate and say, oh, you're going to get the snip. I'm going to say, what makes you think I haven't already had that surgery? Is that appropriate? I don't know. I don't like messing with people's heads. So there's been quite a few things going on. I'm in a much better headspace today. If you would have spoken to me yesterday, you would have thought I was due for a check-in at the mental asylum. The whole PMT thing, it's still a mystery. It's still a surprise bag of, you don't know what you're going to get, and each month it's different. Am I preaching to the choir? Can you confirm that that's just the way it is and it's always going to be there? Always going to be that way? Or do you get a grasp on it, and do you understand how it works? Because the thing that still surprises me right now, almost 11 months into transition, is that whilst I'm in that headspace and I'm so sad and I'm so depressed and miserable, and I don't have the state of mind to acknowledge that that's what it is. It's still like, it blindsides me. It comes without me knowing. It relatively comes around the same time each month, about in between the first and second week of the month. But it still surprises me that it catches me so off guard, and that I don't acknowledge or realize what it is while it's happening. And then, like today, I wake up the next day and it literally feels like the clouds part, the sun rises, and everything's okay. And then I feel wonderful again, and then I can smile again. Of course, a video wouldn't be a video with a cameo from my cat. His name's Jake, by the way. So yeah, it's definitely there. It's definitely a thing. It's something that definitely happens. But I've reported previously that the severity, I don't know if the severity is the right word, but the experience is different every time. Help me out. There he goes. Where is he? Oh, that's not a nice angle. The experience is different every time. Anyway, all right, so I think that's a pretty decent kind of update for in between months. I am still here, I'm still posting, I'm still on Reddit. I still want to say thank you to the people who post on my all my social media things. I'm also on Instagram. And I'm not very active on Instagram, I'm more here at YouTube and Reddit. But something that I actually wanted to finish on, another cool little point, is I like it when someone will post, someone maybe just discovers my channel and they'll watch a video that I've recorded 6 or so months ago and they'll make a comment on it like it just happened, because it did for them. It just happened, they just experienced that video. But for me, then I think, wow, what sort of headspace was I in then? So I go back and I watch the video and it just really illustrates to me how far I have come and how confident I am now, and ultimately happy in who I am, and not so much who I've become, but I just think that I've just come into myself. I'm just finally, I think I said before, but taking those shackles, those chains off, and just allowing myself to be me, finally, without shame, without guilt, without hesitation. I'm just unapologetically me. All right, I think that's a good enough note to end this one on. So thanks again for watching. If you like my content and you think this is entertaining, helpful, inspiring, informative, whatever it is, let me know what it is you get from watching my content. And as always, if you have a question, please post that up as well. All right, well, this has been Brittany once again. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.